Hello beautiful and welcome back to my channel and welcome to this video that's going to be a top 10 favorite pocket palettes. We're going to talk about smaller palettes today. We're going to talk about the 10 palettes that I like the most from my smaller palettes. These are going to be either mini palettes or palettes that have like our quads or quints or stuff like that. And if you're interested in that, if you're interested in seeing some of my favorite picks, do stay tuned. And if you haven't been in before, hello, my name is Angie. I'm such a lover of beauty makeup. I love everything beauty makeup related, especially things that are a little bit more colorful. This look is a little bit on the colorful side, maybe not that much, but I like diving into any kind of makeup. And if you want to see more of that, don't forget to subscribe because I upload several videos every week. Now I got this video idea from Lauren May Beauty. She did a video basically, I think she named it like top 10 pocket palettes, like bigger isn't always better. That's not what she said. And we're basically going to do a similar thing. And I could have renamed this video to the 10 palettes in my collection that have seen most countries. Because I love bringing smaller mini palettes traveling. And I'm pretty sure that all of these palettes have come traveling with me at one point or another, except one that is the newest addition to this. But I already know that this will be a palette that comes traveling with me, and that's why I'm gonna bring this in here. When I go traveling, usually I'll pack one piece of like makeup like bag. I'll put a makeup bag and I'll put my things in, and I usually will not bring a big palette unless it's a palette that I'm like really into right now. Like I brought my Hella palette to a lot of destinations since that one has launched, but I'll usually bring 2 or 3 mini palettes, quads, quints, or like smaller palettes. And now I have defined mini palettes. I have defined either something that was named a mini palette or is like marketed as being a mini palette, or something that is actually mini even though it has more shades, or something that is a quad or a quint. So not all of these have small amount of shades, and not all of these are mini palettes, but you'll get it when we get into it. Okay, let's talk about the one that's probably seen the most destinations in my collection, and it's honestly not a very old palette, but I knew when this one was being launched, the Xenon palette, the mini Xenon palette by Natasha and Denona, I knew that this one was going to be such a good companion palette. I always bring this one when I'm traveling. Always, because I have a matte almost white and I have a matte black, and then these gray, I never use them. I will be honest, I never use them, but I have gotten so much use out of this because I use a matte black to deepen up, or to just make color a little darker, or a matte white to lighten up, or to use as an inner corner highlight in so many of my looks, that this has just been a staple for me when traveling. I'm still looking for the perfect companion palette. This isn't really that, and there's another palette that I'm going to talk about now that could have taken the spot had it not had one little flaw, and with this one the flaw is here. If this had been 3 pastel mattes, it's game over. It's game over. That would have been it. But I'm still waiting for the perfect companion palette. But regardless, this has been traveling with me so much. And I actually really love this mini palette. And I use it exactly like I thought I was going to use it, as a companion palette. Let's talk about the one that could have taken the prize had it not had a little flaw, and that is the new Hello Hollywood by Colourpop. This is a fairly new palette. I've used this a lot as a companion palette. Had this one gone traveling with me though? I'm not 100% sure about that. I want to say I brought it somewhere, but now I'm not 100% sure, but I know that I will. It has a matte white, it has a matte, very pigmented, like yellowy beige that I can use as an inner corner highlight. It has a pastel blue. This one has some sparkles in it, but I don't care about that. I'm not going to use it in my crease. I'm only going to use it on my lid or in my inner corners. And then there are 2 browns. Had this one been a matte black, game over. This one would have been replacing the Xenon, but since I need a matte black as well, they're so close. They're so close, but I really love that it's all matte. I really hope that Colourpop will have more all matte palettes. I'm in an all matte era. I know people are saying they're in their villain era. I'm in my all matte era. I think that one has good quality, and already since buying it, I've found use for it. So I'm just super excited about it. Why do I feel like I'm losing my shirt? Stay. Let's talk about another Natasha Denona palette. This one is so colorful and fun. I love a pinky red look. Pink. Am I wearing maybe always a pinky red? This could have been this palette. I love this color scheme, I really do. And this one is even brighter and more pigmented than what I have on right now. This one should already be, this one is live. Yes, this look is already live. I will leave it in the description box together with all of these palettes that I'm talking about and the things that I'm wearing on my face in case you are interested. This one came out for Valentine's this year. And it's just a really good, this is my favorite, I mean, if we're not counting this one, but this one is my favorite mini palette because it has shades that I will all use. There are 2 shimmery shades and there are 3 matte shades. I love it to be matte heavy. This is how I love my mini palettes. Please be matte heavy. Be matte heavy, and if possible, go from light to dark. What this one is missing is that it doesn't have anything that's an inner corner highlight for me. And that is usually the case with most of the mini palettes or quads or stuff that I like. They don't have an inner corner highlight light enough for me because I like something that's really light and that's really matte. So I have a very specific taste and I'm not expecting every quad to cater to me. Listen, it's okay. I'll mix 2 quads. I have no problem with that, but I really like the quality of this one and I love the color story of this one. So yeah, this is a favorite in my collection. Let's go and take another Colourpop one. This is the same like format as this one, like they're equally as big, but this had a non-see-through lid and this one had a see-through lid. This is the first time that Colourpop, no it isn't, this is not the first time that Colourpop released these quints. They did some before, but this was the only one. I bought all of the colorful ones that they released. They released a rainbow of these 5 pans. This is the only one that survived in my collection. Same, it is matte heavy. It is a dark matte, a light matte, and then there is a pastel matte. And I will only use this as a lid color or as an inner corner highlight. And it has some like lime green shimmer in it. I don't care about that because I'm only going to use it in my inner corner. So these are high quality Colourpop shadows. And you have 2 shimmers here. One that is a little bit more cooler, one that is a little bit more warmer. I like that none of them is really dark. I think this is a very well made palette that fits my aesthetic a lot, and it's green and it's fun, and yeah, this one is really good. This, I don't know if these are all still available. I don't do my videos based on what I can link. I do my videos based on my favorites. I'm not 100% sure that this is still available, but if it is, I'll link it down below. If it comes back in stock, grab it, I guess, because it's really nice. This is the biggest one that I'm gonna show you. This is like a mini palette, and technically it only has 5 pans, but there is a split pan in the middle. I accidentally cracked my mirror because, again, this one has been traveling with me on more than one occasion. This is from Oden's Eye, and this is the Ureth mini palette. Do we see a pattern? Do we see a pattern? It is matte heavy. There are 3 mattes. A pastel. I think this one also has a little shimmer, but this is like a cool tone sagey pastel. There is a mid-tone dark one. There is a plum dark one that actually is a plum. So if you didn't want to go green, you can technically use this one and buff it in the crease and use like one of these shades. They're also not green, and you can go in a totally different direction. I also really like that with the mini palette, where you can go in a different direction. Or you don't want to do an all green look, you can get that here as well. There's a very light shimmer, there is a gray shimmer, there is an incredibly dark like green metallic in here. And this one is so well used. I've used this. This is my second most used Oden's Eye palette. Of course, my palette with Oden's Eye is the one that I've used the most, but this one is number 2. I've used this palette so many times. I brought it traveling. I just think that this is a well-made, well-thought-out color scheme with really high quality, and I really enjoy this one. This is the new one that I'm talking about, the one that I've had for a really short amount of time, but I know that I'm gonna enjoy it. And this, listen, who do I think I am? This is from Tarte. This is the Tartelette Jewel mini palette. I think that the quality of this one is so good. And this is also, and not matte heavy, but there's at least it's not shimmer heavy. There are 3 mattes, a pastel pink, a light taupey beige, and a really nice quality dark plum, which is really good. It is 2 very high shine metallics, and then there's one that's more of a creamy traditional shimmer. These are high quality shadows, and I know that if I brought this one, like listen, this could be me packing. I could be packing this together. This could be me packing, and even actually this seems like a very probable choice for me when packing. My companion palette, something really bright, something more neutral. It seems like a very probable way for me to pack if I know myself from past experiences of packing, I really think that this is a good quality palette, and I'm happy I bought it. I'm happy I gave Tarte a chance. I feel like they're playing it very, very safe with some of their color choices, but if they release more of these mini palettes that appeal to me, I think I might pick them up, because honestly, I like the quality of this one, and I can see myself using this one quite a bit outside of YouTube. So I like it. This was a good buy for me, even though it's not 100% my color story. I can see myself using it a lot together with other stuff. This one has the most shades of everything we're going to be talking about today. And this is the Dark Edit palette by Viseart. But if you just look at like the sizing, it is basically the same size as this like Tarte palette. It's a little shorter and a little stubbier. So even though this has more shades, the shades are so small that you can fit so many things in a small palette. This is incredible quality. Viseart mattes are incredible. I actually really like the shimmers as well, but I will say these are, again, traditional shimmers, but they are very creamy and impactful, but they're not like super foiled, they're not sparkly, they're not toppers, they're not duochrome, so don't expect that. But these mattes, so good, and especially for deepening up looks, you have so many options. Again, this is, even though it has so many shades, this palette doesn't have an inner corner highlight for me. But if I were to use these two palettes together, like, this is so flippity floppity. Let me see if I can open this one. If I were to use these two palettes together, I would be able to create something that's my style without a doubt. And I really like the quality of this one, and this is, like I said, a favorite because of how versatile it is for me to add to different looks. But yeah, this is so great, and I really like the Viseart quality. And if they release more, I don't like the quads that they come out with because I feel like they're not as versatile as I would like them to be. Let's talk about some other quads. I actually saved, I don't want to say the best for last because I love all of these, but the ones that have been traveling the most with me lately, together with the Natasha Denona mini Xenon palettes, are the ones that are coming up. But I could see myself buying Viseart quads because of how much I love the Viseart quality and how much I love smaller palettes, but their color stories have been so bland and just meh when it comes to the quads. I cannot get inspired by that to save my life. Okay, the last three I'm going to talk about are all Colourpop quads. I cannot recommend Colourpop quads enough. I have quite a few. I think I have like 10, maybe even 12 of the Colourpop quads. These are my 3 favorites, and I just think they are really good quality, and I'm gonna be honest, really well composed palettes. The one thing that's missing with the ones that are my favorites is, again, I don't have an inner corner highlight, and that is why I'll pull that from another mini palette. This is the Bold and the Aries. I'm fairly sure that these ones that are like the astrology ones are getting discontinued. They have been on sale. I don't even know if they're still here. I'm just letting you know that I really like these quads, and I've liked quads from all the quad collections that I've tried colors from. I've really loved, except that first one with the ice cream ones. I thought those were good, but not as incredible as the ones after have been. I also have one of the newer quads here, and I can let you know like how the quality has persisted, so to say. This is 2 mattes, 2 shimmers, 1 more bright shimmer, but this is a very high shine. I would call this more metallic, a lighter one, a dark matte, a lighter matte. Incredible. This is also from the astrology collection. I absolutely love this one. This is more of a warm tone metallic, a cool tone metallic, a light matte, a dark matte. This matte is incredible. This is the Secret Life of a Scorpio. This is such a wonderful, deep, dark, sultry, sexy berry. It is such a good matte color. Honestly, it's incredible, but doesn't have an inner corner highlight. But again, it's not a problem. I don't know if these astrology quads are still in stock, but I really like mine. I have quite a few of them. And this is from the collection that came out this spring, I think. This is On The Mango pressed powder palette. This one has 2 very bright mattes. These are 3 mattes and 1 shimmer. Very much up my alley. 2 very bright mattes and more a clayey orangey brown matte if you want to have a little bit more of a toned down look. And then you have this is a shimmer that has like almost like a clementine. It's like a little peachy undertone, and then it is this just high shine thing. Well, why am I swatching this? I'm showing you swatches. If you've seen my New York vlog, there is a day where I'm wearing an all orange look and just mascara, and that is this shadow. All over the lid, under my eyes, just mascara. Such a beautiful shadow. I think the quality of this one is just as good as the one in the astrology quads. And if Colourpop comes out with more quads, I'm buying them, because they are so nice. And since I bought my first quad with Colourpop, I have not had a single travel where I haven't brought at least a quad. When I went to New York, I brought 3 quads and nothing else. I didn't even bring, no, that's not true. I brought 3 quads in this one because I used the matte white in this one. So that's how I feel about them. Please let me know if you have any mini favorites or any quads or quint favorites. I don't have any like luxury brands here, except maybe we could count Viseart as a luxury brand if we stretch the meaning of it a little bit. But I really, and I guess maybe Natasha Denona, I don't know. Is that a luxury brand? Do we think that? I'm meaning that I don't have any Guerlain or Givenchy or any Dior or any Chanel or anything like that. The brands that usually do a lot of quads and quints, I don't have those. But yeah, if Colourpop comes out with more quads, sign me the fluff up. I'm definitely getting those. Let me know what your favorites are. Like I said, don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you again in my new video. Bye!